Good evening and welcome to the June 14th, 2022 work session and special meeting of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners. My name is Chad Brown. I serve as chairman of the board as well as commissioner from Riverbend Township. I would like to thank our viewers and thank Spectrum Cable and AT&T for making it possible for our citizens for our television audience and live streaming audience. I would like to present our Gaston County Commission beginning on my far right.
Alan Fraley, Cherville Township.
Good evening, Bob Hovis, Critters Mountain Township.
Commissioner Johnson is joining us via teleconference. Commissioner Johnson.
Good evening, Kim Johnson, Gastonia Township.
I'm Ronnie Worley, South Point Township.
I'd like to recognize before we start a few special guests, the Mayor of Gastonia, Mayor Reed, also Cleveland County Commissioner Kevin Gordon, and also the City Manager Ranlow, Jonathan Blanton. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here tonight. If you'll please rise for the invocation given by Commissioner Hovis and the Pledge of Allegiance given by Commissioner Fraley.
If you all will please bow with me, and for the first few moments, we're going to observe a few moments of silence for the continued violence that this country is seeing every day. Let us pray. Most gracious Father, we come here before you tonight to conduct the business of Gaston County. I wish that the pen that the Board of Commissioners puts to all of our proclamations and our ordinances could affect what we've seen happening in this country. We in Gaston have been somewhat fortunate to see very little of this activity. Our country will not change until we as individuals change. We as individuals make choices that have a great effect on many, many others. We need to understand that, and we need to be mindful of that. If we see something, we should say something. We need to be cognizant of our neighbors, our friends, and especially during this time of weather, the elderly. Father, we have responsibilities far beyond what this board does. Each of us has that opportunity every day. We ask your strength, we ask your endurance, and we ask your inspiration as we attack those problems we come across every day. We ask that in Christ's name. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll now call to order the June 14th work session. First item on the agenda is proclamations, commendations, and awards. I will now call on Commissioner Worley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would invite Ms. Barbara Yarborough, coordinator for the Gaston County Governor's Volunteer Service Award with the United Way of Gaston County, to come forward. And Barbara, or is Eleanor and Kay and John here all tonight?
Yes,
Also?
yes.
And we would invite Eleanor Crank and Kay and John Blau to come forward as well as welcome. Good evening. Whereas the Governor's Volunteer Service Award honors the true spirit of volunteerism by recognizing individuals, groups, and businesses that make a significant contribution to their community through volunteer service. Whereas any person, group, or entity from the public, nonprofit, and private sector may be nominated for an award through a county award coordinator, county award coordinators submit their top 10 volunteer nominations per county. Whereas there are eligibility requirements in several categories for the type of nominee: senior, youth, faith-based, family, group business, etc. Additional categories are based upon the area of service: animal, environmental, disaster, youth, preservation. County recommendations are reviewed by the State Commission and awards are given out in the counties. Whereas the United Way of Gaston County coordinates our county efforts, advertises, collects applications, and with a review panel, makes recommendations to the state of North Carolina. Now therefore be it resolved that the Gaston County Board of Commissioners congratulates and extends its deepest appreciation to Eleanor Crank and Kay and John Blowden. I'm making sure I said that right. Upon being named the 2022 recipients of the Governor's Volunteer Award, and further recognizes the recipients for their outstanding and exemplary volunteer service to Gaston County. And this will be adopted on the 28th day of June, 2022. And I'll now invite Barbara to come up and make the presentations, and I will provide you all a copy of the proclamation.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight to honor these dedicated volunteers. Receiving a Governor's Volunteer Award is Eleanor Crank, 85 years young and a longtime resident of South Gastonia. Eleanor was nominated in the Lifetime Achievement category for her service to the American Red Cross. Amelia Linke, Program Manager for American Red Cross Disaster Services, says the pandemic never kept her down when their offices were quiet at the American Red Cross. She kept things bright by sewing vibrantly colored masks for her community, preparing home-cooked meals, and just stopping by at a safe distance, sharing a hello from her car during the pandemic. During Eleanor's service to the American Red Cross disaster operation, she quickly became nationally recognized as a feeding supervisor, organizing and running complex kitchens and meal service at some of the biggest crisis incidents in our recent history, including floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, and wildfires. She received the Golden Cambro Award for Feeding Supervisor Excellence in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. While it was safe and she was able, she was ready to go, bags packed, eager to accept an assignment to help disaster victims anywhere in the country at the drop of a hat. Amelia reports that Eleanor established such a positive reputation for her work, she would be requested by name to help the most overtasked response teams and is responsible for recruiting more volunteers than anyone else to the local chapter. Eleanor, congratulations for your 16 years of service to the American Red Cross. Also, for 15 years, Kay and John Blau have been food bank shoppers for Crisis Assistance Ministry. We know it around here as CAM, meaning they go weekly to Second Harvest Food Bank to purchase discounted food items for CAM. Like so many organizations, COVID had a direct impact on CAM's volunteer pool. Through the ups and downs and concerns of exposure, Kay and John have remained dedicated, logging 460 and 275 hours respectively for the last fiscal year. At a time when it would have been easy for them to stay home, they increased their volunteer hours to cover for the lack of other volunteers. CAM's volunteer coordinator, Jenny Moran, says, without Kay and John, CAM's food pantry shelves would have had far less food and been much less organized. In the last fiscal year, CAM's food pantry distributed 1,568 food orders. Kay and John helped bag food for clients and organize the food they receive daily from Food Lion. Kay is also the primary food stocker and in charge of food rotation, ensuring that food distributed maintains food safety guidelines. John is always there by her side, helping move the food around. Like our first recipients, the Blaus are not spring chickens, but Jenny believes that their work is inspiring and motivating some of their younger volunteers, church groups, scouts, etc. Jenny says the Blaus directly impact the community by helping alleviate hunger among families, especially those with children and senior citizens. She further states that any organization would be lucky to have the Blaus as volunteers, but she sure is glad that they picked CAM. Thank you, John and Kay, for your dedicated service. Here's your certificate, which you shared. Thank you again, Commissioners, and thank you for our volunteers. If you don't mind, we'd like to get a picture
Please
with our
do.
recipients and the Commissioners.
That's what I was just about to suggest, Barbara. Thank you for doing that. If y'all want to step over near the seal there in the center. Yeah.
I apologize, GQ magazine called after that picture.
Gaston County is very blessed to have numerous individuals who have such long service as volunteers, and these people tonight are just a few examples of many people that we have that work in our many agencies and committees to continue to help Gaston County improve in many, many ways. As a former governor's winner myself back in 2002, it's a very humbling experience, and it's wonderful to have the opportunity to be recognized at they'll have an event, I'm sure, that they get to attend. I hope they will. We did that. It's already been done. That's good. That's wonderful. That's a great event, I'd like for Dr. Pearl Burris-Floyd, if she would, to please join me at the podium, and anyone else who would like to join her. Mayor Reed, and this is in reference. Come on up, folks. That's great. Great. Let him get turned around and be up here with us. We'll let him position himself. That's fine. Good deal. Thank you. This is a proclamation to recognize June 19th as Juneteenth in Gaston County. Whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January the 1st, 1863, declaring the slaves in the Confederate territory free, paving the way for the passing of the 13th Amendment, which formally abolished slavery in the United States of America. And whereas word about the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation was delayed some 2.5 years to June the 19th, 1865, in reaching authorities and African Americans in the southern United States. And whereas the celebration of the end of slavery, which became known as Juneteenth, is the oldest public celebration of the end of slavery in the United States and has been celebrated by the African American community for over 150 years. And whereas Juneteenth commemorates African American freedom and celebrates the successes gained through education and greater success, and reminds us, each of us, the precious promises of freedom, equality, and opportunity, which are at the core of the American dream. And whereas the first Juneteenth celebration was a time of reassurance, prayer, and gathering of family members and neighbors, and today is a time of remembrance and celebration within communities throughout the country that promotes and cultivates knowledge and appreciation of African American history and culture, while encouraging continuous self-development and respect for all peoples and cultures. And whereas the Gaston County is proud to celebrate this historic day for the second time and is excited to join the third annual Juneteenth celebration along with the City of Gastonia, the Gastonia Police Department, the New Hope Youth Network, and our Diversity and Inclusion, Equity and Inclusion Office on Saturday, June the 18th at 2020 at the Irwin Center for the Teen Basketball Tournament and Summit at from noon to 5 p.m. and on Sunday, June 19th, for the first parade on Main Street at 3 p.m., followed by vendors, food, speeches, and fireworks at the Rotary Pavilion. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Gaston County Board of Commissioners, on behalf of all of Gaston County, do hereby declare June the 19th, 2022, as Juneteenth. in Gaston County, North Carolina, and urge all citizens to join in the celebrations of this day of significance in history and heritage for our nation and country. This will be adopted on June the 28th, our voting meeting of 2022. Ms. Floyd, Dr. Floyd, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Chair Brown and members of the Gaston County Commission and Deputy County Manager Matt and our new county attorney, and to all those who are assembled here, this is indeed a pleasure to accept this proclamation on behalf of the citizens of Gaston County. This is not something that Pearl did. It is what we did. And it's important to understand that we work together to make things better in our community. I have with me here one of my first volunteers who met me last year at the first celebration, and she's now one of our first volunteers from the community to help with the Juneteenth celebration. And we have the president of the NAACP. We all know the NAACP has been in the freedom fighting arena for a long time. And to have him up here with me to receive this proclamation is indeed an honor. Thank you so much, President. My pleasure. I'm very, very thrilled. A lot of times people think that we fight against each other, but this demonstrates that that's not always the truth. Sometimes people say things and they're not even active in the fight. So we want you all to know that we're active in the fight. We are thankful to have Gaston County participate in such a wonderful way. And please come out on Saturday at Urban Center, where we will have our first youth tournament. And this is for the youth and young adults in the community. Oftentimes we forget about them. Not all of them are out doing things that are wrong. Many are doing things that are right, but they're never celebrated. So we're going to celebrate our teenagers and young adults this year and allow them to have some fun and to show us what good kids are really all about, and to encourage them to continue forward into their adulthood to make things better in Gaston County or wherever they may choose to live. On Sunday, we'll have our first Juneteenth parade. It will start at 3:30 and come down Main Street. It's going to be exciting. There are some 50 entries into the parade, and it's going to be a very exciting time. At 4:30 at the pavilion, we will begin our celebration. And at that time, we'll have speeches, we will have vendors, we'll have food trucks. Gaston County has contributed mightily to this effort. We will have cooling stations for those of us who can't quite keep cool in 100-degree weather. So there will be cooling and misting stations so that you can get cool and not have to get ill out in the heat. And so we welcome you. We invite you. We look forward to all of you coming out and enjoying the festivities. And at the end of this of Sunday, we will have fireworks for the first time, and they're going to be awesome. And this is how the community has come together to make sure that we can celebrate together. So come out, have a good time, bring you a chair, have some, food from the food trucks, and just enjoy yourselves on a Sunday afternoon and wait until you see the fireworks. So I thank you on behalf of Gaston County and the citizens who have participated, made this possible. So thank you so very much. And we would like to take a picture with the commission if possible.
Sure, certainly. The next recognition is Internal Audit Department upon receiving the 2021 Exemplary Knighton Award by the Association of Local Government Auditors. I will now call on Assistant County Manager Matt Roten to do the presentation as I read. A 2021 Exemplary Knighton Award for the Best Performance Audit in the Extra Small Shop category has been awarded to Gaston County Internal Audit by the Association of Local Government Auditors, ALGA. The award presented to the audit shop during the ALGA's annual conference on May 2nd of 2022. The purpose of the competition is to improve government services by encouraging and increasing levels of excellence among local government auditors. Judges from peer organizations determined that this audit was among the best of 2021. The report, Minority Business Participation in Construction Contracts Audit, was judged by several key elements such as potential for significant impact, persuasiveness of the conclusions, the focus on improving government efficiency and effectiveness, and its clarity and conciseness. I will now ask Matt if you will please do the honor of giving them the award.
Yeah, and I just want to say really quick on behalf of Dr. Kim Eagle, I'd like to thank Kyle and Hen for all their work on this and recognize how challenging but rewarding it has been for creating this department from scratch and all the hard work that they've put in.
Thank you, Board, for recognizing us and for your support. Judged by a group of local government audit professionals nationwide, this award is the result of hundreds of hours of work by my dedicated team. We believe national recognition of our work from ALGA is worth the effort of applying because it demonstrates to the community that the work we are doing on their behalf is thorough, professional, and trustworthy. I want to take a second to recognize my staff. Hen Tran, my deputy auditor, he's been on staff for about a year, and he has been critical to the follow-up efforts of the audit. And I'd like to recognize Alex Norman at this time. She was the lead auditor, as she couldn't be here tonight. But without her work, none of this would have been possible. And I'd also like to thank some of our partners who are here. Dan Ziem and his public works staff, they worked side by side with us throughout the audit. Their efforts to really roll out the minority participation program and the outreach has been wonderful. And David Williams, he has been named the outreach coordinator for the county, and he's really embraced that role. And he's implementing your board-approved outreach plan. And finally, I'd like to thank Dr. Eagle for her leadership and support of our department and our mission, which is to provide independent, objective, and reasonable assurance that the county has an effective system of internal controls and that our operations are both efficient and effective. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is with great pleasure for the Gaston County Commissioners to honor citizens who have unselfishly given of their time, talent, skills, and energies in service as an appointee to one of our many boards, commissions. This type of service is the foundation for citizenry involvement in the county government and is helping shape the future of the community. We greatly appreciate and acknowledge the work of the following individuals, and certificates of appreciation have been forwarded to them. Shane Shuford and Tim Payne, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Alicia Summy, Stanley Planning and Zoning and Stanley Board of Adjustments. Kathy Eisenhower, Tourism Development Advisory Board. Larry Garland and the Workforce Development. Adam, anybody signed up? The next item is our presentation for the Gaston County's website refresh project. Now call on the Communications Director, Mr. Adam Gobb, to go forth with this project. Also, want to let you know that Kim Johnson, Commissioner Kim Johnson, will be present during this discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good evening. I'm going to be providing tonight just a brief update on where we are with the website refresh project that began more than a year ago. So I'm going to flip over to just a couple quick slides. This has basically been a project that's been done by the Communications Office and by the Information Technology Department. We have a core team that's been working on this. The funding was set aside in IT's budget, and we went through last year, found a number of companies that basically could provide a really good service for us for our main county website. After we went through a bid selection process, Civic Plus was the company that was selected. You'll see, if you've been to different government websites, you'll see Civic Plus's stamp all over county government and city government websites, not only in North Carolina, but across the country. They're well-known, well-recognized, and they have a really good system in place. And we feel really confident that we're going to get a really good product from them. You know, just here, they have more than 90 county and municipal sites just in North Carolina alone. So this is a company that kind of knows what they're doing. And not only, you know, has built a good model, but they have a lot of flexibility for us as well. So it's not like we're going to get something that's going to look like everybody else's. It's going to be unique to us. When I put these slides together, we were talking about being about halfway through with the build process. They're actually about done with the build process at this point. We're getting ready to go live here in about a month. July 12th is the date that we're targeting. So what I'm going to show you here tonight is a little bit of a sneak preview. What you'll see, the colors, fonts, and logos all match the new branding that we rolled out about 1.5 years ago. One of the key features is it's going to be just a lot easier for citizens to use, and that was the big kind of impetus behind doing a website refresh, is we wanted to make sure that our website, which is one of the first things that a lot of citizens see when they're interacting with government, is as easy to use and as helpful as possible. I'm going to talk about chatbot in a little bit, but that's going to be one of the key ways that that's going to be helpful for residents in terms of asking questions even when county government isn't open. The website, basically, you can save it as a shortcut on your phone, works exactly like an app, so people can just click on that on their phone, and then it'll take you right to a responsive web page that's got all the elements, including the chatbot feature, which, again, I'll talk about here shortly. So let me flip over and pull up the site. So you'll notice that on our current site, it's very plain. There's not a lot of features to it. A lot of things on the new website here are right there before you even have to scroll. So one of the features here at the top, we'll have different photos that'll be scrolling through. These elements here will be clickable, so you can actually send people to, whether it's videos, news releases, things for departments. We've got 6 buttons that are here. These are all changeable so that we can update them throughout the year if we've got things that we want to point people to. We actually track the analytics on the back end too, so if we know that people are asking questions about a certain topic or they're going to a certain department page, we can display that more prominently to make it easier for people to get to it. As you scroll down, we've got kind of a latest news feature where you'll see either images or logos with the different news releases. We have a very interactive calendar where we'll be able to put up community events, public meetings, and then different departments will be able to have their calendars on their pages as well. And then at the bottom, I mean, kind of standard fare in terms of the contact us, but one of the things that I find is a nice feature is that we've got a lot of our main social media accounts that you can click to here, and then when you go to the different department pages, we'll link them to their pages as well. So you can actually go to like the library's Facebook page, for example. So we're trying to, again, make this as easy for people to use as possible, and really kind of a vibrant and interactive website that's going to serve us for years to come. The chatbot feature, as I was mentioning earlier, this is a county in California, Placer County, and they have something that's called Bob the Bot. And we can name ours whatever we want to name it, but basically it's artificial intelligence that's helping people get their questions answered. So if they've got something that they're looking for, rather than pop it into the search bar or kind of look around on the website, they can just say, I'm looking for a way to pay my taxes. I'm looking for information about recycling. Stick it right in there, and we can actually do a lot of answers beforehand. So if we have a lot of frequently asked questions on our current site, we'll transfer over that information and have those answers ready to go. But the nice thing about the system is it learns. So the more people ask questions, the smarter it gets. So a lot of times, the folks that have kind of developed the software, They said that the average response rate in terms of people finding successful answers out of the gate is somewhere between 30 to 50%. Very quickly, it gets up to about 75 to 80%. So as people use this, we'll learn, the bot will learn, and it'll make it a better and more interactive experience for our residents using the website. So going back to the presentation, kind of next steps, we literally just completed our core team training yesterday. So the IT folks and our communications folks have been trained on how to use the back end of the website. Over the next 4 weeks, we're basically going through, making final revisions, updating the different department pages. We're also going to create a how-to video that we'll post so that people can basically get a tutorial on where things are with the new website, make it, again, as easy for users as possible. We're scheduled to launch July 12th at 11 a.m., so barring anything unforeseen, we are on track with that. We've stayed on track the whole time, and we feel good about that date. And then we'll train different department users in July and August, so we'll have folks within like Health and Human Services, different departments, that will be able to post content to their pages, which seems like a simple thing to do, but we can't do that with our current system. So it'll help speed up our ability to get information out quicker, we'll be more efficient, and we'll be more responsive. With that, I'm happy to take any questions or comments you might have.
Adam, I'll ask you the first question. I guess, obviously, since it gets smarter as you ask it, it's got to be Chad, the bot.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Adam, I wanted to ask you while you're there, we have a lot of people who have seen our logo,
Yes, sir.
so no pun tonight, but me wearing this. I wanted to, can you explain to what the logo's meaning against the seal, of how they're two different, and what we did to make the logo facet for all departments?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great question. When we did the initial branding for the county, we looked at some of the elements that were unique to Gaston County or what kind of defines us. So like you'll notice those two kind of teal stripes that go through the G. Those are symbolic of our rivers here with the South Fork and the Catawba. With the yellow sun and the buildings rising, we want to be looking at economic development, how we're continuing to grow and be this place that's kind of a new horizon for residents. Inside of that seal, or inside of that logo, where you see the buildings for the main logo, you'll see different things for each individual county department. And let me see if I can actually go through and pull one of those up.
You can just look at my shirt if they wish.
That's true. Let's see, information technology, I know they have theirs up. So like IT has one, the inside of it looks like a circuit board essentially. So like each one is unique to the different departments. Let's see, I think Parks and Recreation might be up. Yeah, so Parks and Recreation, you see like the trees, you see the birds in the distance. So it was allowing each department to kind of have a little sense of identity. A lot of them had different departments and logos before that were all different colors, fonts, styles. So we have something that's a little bit more identifiable now. When you go across the county, you know if it's a Gaston County service or building or project.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the Board of Commissioners this time for Adam? Commissioner Hovis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm assuming, Adam, in the event of weather or some other type of emergency condition that there would be an instant button on the face page so that emergency management could get that information out, since we have our emergency management director here as well, to where the website, you wouldn't have to go and hunt. You could see it, boom, correct?
Yep.
Once we activated.
So the emergency management department, they have what's called Everbridge, and we have an alert Gaston system that'll go out to people's phones, and I'm sure Director Gordon can speak
Correct.
more to that. But also on the website, when we go live, there'll be an alert function that'll go up at the very top of the page. It'll be very prominent, and so whether it's a weather alert, whether it's, heaven forbid, a mass
Correct.
shooter or anything like that, we'll be able to alert the community immediately.
Correct. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Well, Adam, thank you for a thorough explanation of what's going on, and look forward to seeing more about what's happening. And you can check it out yourself. If you're a visitor to our county, you can also come in and look. So thank you so much for that.
Welcome. Thank you, sir.
Are there any other matters that need to come before this board at this time?
Mr. Chairman, I would request at the appropriate time that the board move into a closed session for us to discuss matters of attorney-client privilege and litigation.
If there is no objection from the board, I will recess the work session at this time, and we will go ahead and call to order the special meeting. Upon adjournment, we will reconvene the work session and receive a motion to enter the closed session at that time. Would that entertain the board? Thank you. The work session is recessed until the adjournment of the special meeting. I will now call to order the June 14, 2022 special meeting of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners. The first item on the agenda will be public hearings. The commission will take citizens' comments for 3 public hearings and consider approval of the request from the town of Ranlow, City of High Shoals, and the City of Lowell to be included in the Gaston County Fire Protection Service District. Before we begin, let me outline the rules of procedure for the hearing. Citizens wishing to make comment will be recognized by the chair and then be requested to step to the microphone for their comments. Citizens will state their name and address for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes tonight. All questions shall be directed to the chair for response. The chair shall rule on all points of order. Do I hear a motion to go into public hearing? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. All in favor? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. We are now in public hearing. The first item, the commission will take comment on public hearing to accept the request from the City of High Shoals to expand the Gaston County Fire Protection Service District to include the City of High Shoals. I will now call on Mr. Kevin Gordon, Director of Emergency and Management of Fire Services Director, to provide a brief overview. Once he has completed his comments, the citizens will be taken, comments will be taken. Mr. Gordon.
Good evening, Chairman Brown, Commissioners, Deputy Manager Roten. So first item is as you have laid out, is the resolution for North Gaston Fire Department and the City of High Shoals to be included into the newly established Gaston County Fire Protection Service District. As you may remember, on March the 22nd of 2022, this board established a unified Gaston County Fire Protection Service District, which is effective July 1st, and directed the Gaston County tax assessor to collect the levy tax that was later approved in the budget of 11 cents. The City of High Shoals has also duly adopted a resolution on March 29, 2022, requesting that the Gaston County Board of Commissioners to include the City of High Shoals in the Gaston County Fire Protection Service District. The City of High Shoals has previously been corporate funded their fire and rescue services through the High Shoals Fire Protection District, which will be abolished on effective June 30th of 2022. The North Carolina General Statutes 153A-303 prescribes the process whereby municipalities may request at any boards of commissioners, but in this example, the Gaston County Board of Commissioners to consider to include municipalities within the county's fire protection service districts, and which has been created in order to finance, provide, and maintain certain services in addition to or greater extent of those financed and provided to maintain by the entire county. The current tax rate that will expire or be abolished is 10.4 cents. The new rate will be 11 cents, and if this is approved under the resolution 22-209, this board has authorized the annual budget to the North Gaston Volunteer Fire Department of $309,753. $309,753. At that, I'll happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you, Commissioner Gordon. Are there any citizens wishing to make comments on this matter at this time?
If I could add, Dennis Cash is here tonight on the back row, Mr. Chair. He's the fire chief there, but he also serves on the town board for High Shoals.
Any citizens wishing to make comments at this time on this issue? Madam Clerk, are there any written comments submitted? Any questions from the Board of Commissioners? Are there any additional comments, or I declare the public hearing closed? Commissioner Johnson, do you care to speak?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gordon, I will ask one question. This is a voluntary act by the city, by the town of High Shoals.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Motion made by Commissioner Fraley, seconded. Oh, I did? Seconded by Commissioner Hovis. That's what he was saying. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Item B, The commission will now take comment on public hearing to accept the request by the town of Ranlow to expand the Gaston County Fire Protection Service District to include the town of Ranlow. I will now call on Commissioner Gordon, Director of Emergency Management and Fire Service Director, will provide a brief overview. Once he has completed his comments, citizens' comments will be taken. Commissioner Gordon.
Yes, sir. Again, welcome. Glad to be here. I will paraphrase because this is essentially the same, so I'll make it a little shorter. So as stated before, on March the 22nd of 2022, this board established the Unified Gaston County Fire Protection Service District, which will be effective July 1st of 2022. The town of Ranlow duly adopted a resolution on April the 14th of 2022 to request the county Board of Commissioners to include the town of Ranlow in the Fire Service District. The town of Ranlow has previously been included in the current Ranlow Fire Protection Service District, which will be abolished or cease to exist on June 30th. And I'll forego the general statute that I read earlier unless y'all like for me to read that again. All right, and I would also recognize Jonathan Blanton, the town manager for Ranlow, is here. If you have questions for him. The current tax rate for the current Ranlow Fire Protection District is 9.1 cent. The new rate, as this board approved earlier in the budget process, will be 11 cent. And under Resolution 20-209, the Ranlow Fire Department will receive an annual budget of $404,114 if approved.
Thank you, Commissioner Gordon. Any citizens wishing to make comment at this time on this matter? Seeing none, Madame Clerk, are there any written comments received? Are there any questions from the Board of Commissioners? Commissioner Gordon, on behalf of the town of Ranlow, this is a voluntary act, correct, sir?
Yes.
Thank you,
Correct.
sir. Are there any additional comments that need to declare this time? I will now close the public hearing. Is there a motion? Motion made by Commissioner Worley, seconded by Commissioner Hovis. Any discussion? All in favor? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Is unanimous, Madam Clerk. The commission will take comment on public hearing to accept the request for the City of Lowell, expand the Gaston County Fire Protection Services District to include the City of Lowell. I will now call on Commissioner Gordon, Director of Emergency Management Services Director, will provide a brief overview. Once he has completed his comments, our citizens' comments will be taken. Commissioner Gordon, I will now let you know we can just read into the record the further statements. You can just move forward with what you're doing for the town of Lowell.
Okay, thank you. This is an addition. As I said earlier, the other two are already in their current service districts. This is an addition. Gaston County currently contracts with the Lowell Fire Department to provide service to the Pinhook or Samara Fire District, so that we already contract with them. This resolution will extend the coverage to the town of Lowell, and then we would tax in the town of Lowell. As I stated earlier, March 22nd, 2022, this board established the Fire Protection District. On April the 12th of 2022, the City of Lowell duly adopted a resolution requested to be included in the Fire Protection District. And this would essentially move all funding from the town budget for the fire department to the county fire protection district. The current fire rate there and the town proper is 0 for fire. It will be 11 cent with the new rate. The Lowell Fire Department will be funded at $365,301 on the Resolution 2022-209. And I'll forego the statute again. Happy to answer any questions because this one is different than the other two. So.
Are there any citizens wishing to make comment at this time? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, are there any written comments received? Any questions from the Board of Commissioners? Are there any additional comments that need to be received? I will now close the public hearing. I will ask Commissioner Gordon, this is a voluntary act as well by the City of Lowell.
That is correct.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Madam Clerk, it is unanimous. Thank you. The next item is appointments. Item A is the Gaston County Fire Commission effective July 1st, 2022. I will now read the appointment through slate, and we can vote on it as one. The Cherryville Township, Bobby Cash. Riverbend Township, Jeffrey Hovis. Crowers Mountain Township, Jamie Ramsey. Gastonia Township, Tom Keeger, Curtis Connor. South Point Township, Barry Wilson. Full Board, Tony Robinson. Full Board, James W. Brown. Full Board appointment from the Commission Representative, Bob Hovis. Fire Marshal Representative, Full Board, Kevin Gordon. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
It's unanimous, Madam Clerk.
Comment, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I would like to extend my appreciation to Director Gordon for his in-depth work with our consultants and all of our countywide VFDs to put this new plan forward. It's going to put Gaston County in a much better position as we look to the future. We look at fire protection. We treat it under our umbrella since we are the funding mechanism. We've kind of left that not quite as tied up, nice and neat. But this new approach that we're taking allows us to assist our volunteer fire organizations in many ways and to bring the full power of the county behind their long-term efforts and make sure that we understand any service area, any new service area or area that is determined that needs additional service, that we put it in balance with everything else in the county. That's something we have not done in the past, and it's something we certainly need to do in the future as we continue to move forward. Thank you.
I also want to make a statement behind this, and that is that anybody outside of revenue neutral from the three entities would be tax assessed from the individual municipality and not by this board. The next item is the purchase of law enforcement equipment. Commissioner Worley with the Finance Department to authorize the purchase of body cameras and tasers for the county police and sheriff's office for sole source provider of DLX Axon Enterprise Incorporated to approve the funding appropriation of $3,134,771 and to approve the reimbursement declaration. Is there a motion? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, by Commissioner Worley, seconded by Commissioner Hovis. Any discussion? All in favor? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Madam Clerk, it is unanimous. The next item is the adjournment of the special meeting.
And return to the work session.
This concludes our special meeting for tonight. Do I hear a motion to go into, motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. We will now revisit the backside of going to the closed session from the special meeting, the work session, excuse me. Thank you, ma'am. Madam May, Clerk. But want to go back into reconvening. The work session is now called to order. Do I hear a motion to enter into closed session pursuant North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3 with consultant with attorney, NAACP versus Gaston County and the Commission? Motion made by Commissioner Worley, seconded by Commissioner Hovis. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
We are now in closed session as unanimous, Madam Clerk. We shall return. Welcome back. Let me find out where we're at here. Do I hear a motion to return from the open session? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Worley. Any discussion? All in favor? We are now back in closed session. No action was taken during the closed session. So thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for participating in that. The adjournment of the work session. This concludes our work session for tonight. Our next regular meeting is June 28th at 6 p.m. here in the Harley B. Gaston Public Forum Courtroom. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions please or comments, please direct them toward Donna S. Buff at 704-866-3196. Good night, Dollface.
Motion.